another episode of Sync Riffs. My name is Charles Levan from Blue Buddha Entertainment, LA-based sync agent, back in the studio with some very special guests, 3 LA-based music supervisors who are going to unpack what they do at some prolific agencies. And I want to welcome Lava Hong from Trailer Park Group, Deric Berberabe from Wildcard Creative, and Allyson Aranez from Aspect. Welcome, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, for taking the time out and for stopping by. And our podcast, we talk about everything sync and the state of the music biz. And to start things out, going to turn the mic to Lava to tell us a little bit about working at Trailer Park Group, how you first broke into the biz, Lava, and then also if you want to talk about some of the projects there at Trailer Park and what's like day-to-day there at Trailer Park Group.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I started sort of knowing that I wanted to do supervision when I was in college. So I was focusing on a lot of composition stuff. And then I was doing a lot of artist projects. So I think I knew the creative side of things and how music fit into visuals. But then I did get more studies about the business sides of it when I was in my grad school. And then after I graduated, I got my first job at Wildcard Creative working with Deric actually at the time. And Deric, I started as a music coordinator, obviously, and then Deric was a supervisor and basically trained me in cue sheets and sort of licensing stuff and getting to know all the music libraries and vendors and exposed to some really high profile projects at the time. And then when I moved to Trailer Park, it was essentially the same responsibility. I was working on a lot of cue sheets and metadata management. And then as I get more involved and becoming a music supervisor, I get more involved creatively doing sound effects and music searches based on client budgets and their creative visions, obviously. So for me, it was definitely a sort of in between creative and administrative work. And we recently done some big campaigns like the Mufasa. We did Wicked and Beetlejuice, shown here. We also work on a lot of TV network stuff, projects with NBCU, Peacock, Amazon, and etc. So we have quite a variety of projects that we're working on.
Very nice, very nice. So since you've been there, Lava, is there any one particular project that you're really proud of? And if so, can you talk about some of the music that was in that project and what were some of the challenges? Because with licensing tracks for whether it's a trailer or a marketing campaign, each project is different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there are definitely quite a few projects that I felt like creatively there were a lot that was tied into it. I'm trying to think, because a lot of projects we can't really disclose a lot of details because of NDA. But there has definitely been, I guess there was this project that we did last year for Angel Studios, and alongside was just the sound effects and music searching, we actually decided to do a custom track for the whole movie because it just felt like it was something that the producers and the clients wanted to try out. And because of my artist background, they ended up using my vocals in the track, and we did a cover that turned a nursery rhyme to a sort of a broody epic trailer music. And it was nominated for the Clio's, well, not the Golden Trailer Award. So it was really nice. Really happy to see how music tie that entire project together in terms of emotions and the sort of the overall thing for the movie. So it was a really fun project to work on.
Very nice, very nice. And yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Lava, because you also, as an artist yourself, as a singer, how does that impact, through the lens of what you do as a creative, as a music supervisor, being an artist yourself as well?
I mean, for me, I really, when I first started to do supervision, I took a complete like pause on like music stuff because at the time I wanted to make sure that I was focusing on the business side supervision, trying to understand how this, how this industry work and
Mhm.
who are the people that I should be able to like reach out to and all that stuff. And I think after about like 3 years, I finally felt more grounded in that sense. And I think because of my past artist projects and the ones I'm picking up this year, it really made me sort of like appreciate music again in the sense where I can see the efforts that are being done by the composers, the artists,
Mm.
producers, and also trying to convey those languages through like a supervision side. And then also like because of that, a lot of times there's sort of like a little bit of gap in between the communication because a lot
Mhm.
of times like supervisor want a specific thing, but artists aren't really understanding why we need that for this specific project. So like knowing that really helps me explain the creative vision and sometimes even help guide the
Yeah.
production itself.
Yeah, I can imagine because, me as a sync agent, to your point, if we're getting briefs from you via email, it's that fine art of really talking about a project because the nuances of emotion, and then sometimes if we're pitching without picture, you can only imagine you get playlists back from artists and it's completely off base. But I'm sure we'll talk about more of that in a minute. But no, thanks a lot about it. It's a great overview, and then
Yeah.
we'll come back and connect the dots. But yeah, thank you. And turning the mic over to you, Deric, would love to hear, how you first broke into the biz as a music supervisor, and tell us more about some of the work you do at Wildcard Creative Group.
Sure, yeah. But to Lava, the student has become the master now. So I just remember when she just first started. It's nice to see her, shining over there. But for me, my start was a little bit unorthodox. It was I didn't always know that I was gonna be in music supervision. I didn't even know about music supervision. I grew up, Filipino parents. It was either medical field or lawyer. That's kind of the choices that I had. So I went to college for kinesiology. I was going to be a physical therapist, and then my last, basically my last year was always like music and behavior compliance and music and physiological responses. Like every major thing that I had to do to graduate always circumnavigated around music. And then when I was actually going to walk, like for the ceremony, a professor I was really close with, he took me aside. He said, I know you can do this. You could be a physical therapist, but I think you need to try something with music. And then it kind
Wow.
of set me on my way. I kind of knew a little bit about music supervision. You'd see it in the credits and all that. So I was like, let me kind of look into this. And then I was like, I'll give myself 6 months, try
Mhm.
it. And then that just turned into like years of,
Yeah.
internships. And then I ended up going to the UCLA extension to learn more. And I found myself like way more fulfilled and happier chasing something I enjoyed rather than doing something I didn't. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, got very lucky, but persevered, and now I'm here at Wildcard.
Amazing, amazing. No, that's the true testament, following your passion. And that's awesome that you had that one professor, because we all need mentors and mentees along the way. But so talk about, so same with that Wildcard Creative Group, as far as I would imagine major brands, films, trailers, some video games mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really do too many video games, but a lot of theatrical, a lot of streaming. We just did Joker and the Bob Dylan movie. We had Dune earlier this year, which was a lot of fun. So our bread and butter is theatrical, I'd say, but we do a lot with Apple and Netflix and yeah, whatever comes our way, really. There's a wide range. Like we do the Kardashians also. So it's never stale or
Cool.
mundane daily, which I enjoy. And there's different problems to, figure out each day. So I'm always up for the task.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And then I know each, agency sort of has their different flavor as far as sound goes, and I had a supervisor on from Rogue Planet, and she was talking about how, their style is very dark, more horror. And I'm curious, for Wildcard Creative Group, is there a particular brand identity when it comes to the sonic palette, if you will?
I feel like before it would be like tentpole sci-fi drama a little, but I think now, just because of the variety of projects, it's kind of thing. Like we did the Ferrari piece, and then we did American Fiction, which is like a comedy, which there's two like kind of opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of projects. So it's nice to get the variety. We're not kind of locked in pulling the same stuff. I personally enjoy it, but yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it does. Because, looking at everybody's website kind of gives it that indication there. And, but no, thanks for
Right.
the
Yeah, sure.
setup and intro, and then we'll circle it back. Yeah. And with that, Allyson, want to turn the mic to you and hear about, your journey into music supervision, and then a little bit about your work there at Trailer Park Group.
Yeah, so growing up, I've always been interested in music, being a dancer and singing, all the stuff that, as a Filipino, my parents loved doing that. And once I got to college, I knew that I wanted to be in music, but also in the film industry, and I never really found exactly what I wanted to do until I think about my junior year of college, where they had a music supervision course. And a lot of people had just taken it for credits and, just for fun. And so I decided to take it. And at that time, just from the first day of class, I was so blown away. And right at that moment, I knew that that was what I wanted to do. It was a mixture of both. And kind of like growing up, I would always, put videos of films and stuff and put them against music. So I guess it was kind of in me from the start. But I immediately jumped in and I kept applying for internships. I stayed close with my professor to go to as many events as I could as possible. I volunteered for the Guild of Music Supervisors a lot. And then within a span of a year, I had about 7 internships in music supervision and sync, just to try out a bunch of different things, working on the label side and working directly with TV and film supervisors. But I never got a chance to do trailers, and that was always something that I really was interested in. And reaching into my senior year of college, I was really lucky to have landed my first full-time job at Trailer Park as a music coordinator while I was still in school. So I was kind of bouncing all the full-time hours and leaving early for classes, but that was a really great experience, and I was there for about 3 years. I was a coordinator and moved up to associate supervisor, where I also had met Lava and got to train her as well. So it's great that we've all kind of grown together. And now I'm currently at Aspect Ratio, where I'm a music supervisor over here working on theatrical trailers, streaming, and we also do home entertainment, lots of promos, as well as video games.
Very nice, very nice. Now, threading the needle, and I know I had shared, so I'm going to reshare Aspect, and remind me, because this is a good thread for everybody, because everyone's been kind of talking about it, and I'm curious, and we'll take it to you, Allyson, with what college did you go to, and did you find, was there courses that opened the door for music industry studies?
I attended Loyola Marymount University, and I was a recording arts major in their film school. And they didn't really have a music industry class. I really wish there was like a music business class where I really got to deep dive into that. But luckily, that music supervision class really covered so many things, from like, learning about PROs and quotes and budgeting and all that stuff. So that was super helpful. I really do wish that there were more opportunities to dive into the music business. So I wish I got to do that, but we were mostly, on set for student films and learning how to record on set and studio. So there wasn't too many options for that for supervision, but the music supervision class in itself is super, super helpful.
Okay, interesting. Because I'm always curious, because like Berkeley and USC, certain schools are so strong with their alumni and just outreach, making sure everyone's connected. How do you find, how are things at Loyola as far as the alumni programs go?
They've definitely reached out a lot for alumni, but it doesn't feel like there's a strong alumni in the film community. I mean, a lot of us, fellow students in the film school, we still talk to each other, but a lot of people don't really go back to the campus as much as I thought. But I'm sure a lot of other schools do.
But there's a lot of graduates so that's in the space, though, I think.
Yeah, lots of graduates I've met in space, but not like much of going back to campus and reconnecting. Sure. But it's great to meet a lot of alumni for sure.
Yeah, I can echo that as well. And how about yourself? I'll turn it to you, Lava. As far as I can't remember having read your artist bio, Lava. Where'd you go to school? And as far as music business programs, was there good film opportunities at your school?
I was at Carnegie Mellon's Master of Entertainment Industry Management program. It's a pretty new program. It's more for people who are interested in the film and TV side, though. Like, I would say 2/3 of my class were trying to be like producers, directors, and like showrunners and stuff. And I was like the 1/3. And actually, I think I was the only person who actually doing music stuff after graduation. So
wow.
They have a campus for second year, because like the first year you're going to be in Pittsburgh, and second year you're going to come to LA. They're just in North Hollywood. And yeah, we have a lot of alums in the studios and stuff. I personally haven't been that well connected with them because I'm just like on the music side of things, but we have a very strong like film and like studio sort of network.
Very cool. Good to know. Yeah, and I'll post up the links with the episode. But how about yourself, Deric? Remind us, where did you go to school, and then as far as opportunities for growth in the film and music side, how was that?
I went to Cal Poly Pomona. I actually wanted to go to LMU, but I got waitlisted and then denied. But it's all good. Well, I had a lot of friends who went there, so I spent some time there. And I was like, I DJ'd the KXLU like Thursday nights from 2 to 6 a.m. So I was on campus with a few buddies. But yeah, in terms of music, I actually tried to minor in music like early on in my career, but they said I'd have to drop out of the 4-year pledge, which was a program that like gave you priority registration. And at Cal State, it's hard to get classes. So then I was like, all right, maybe I can't do the music thing. It'll take forever to graduate. But when I got out of Cal Poly, it was just a lot of cold emails, a lot of reaching out to people that were just willing to speak. And then I think within the year, I did the UCLA extension. Jason Kramer was my teacher. That was pretty cool too, because a lot of the people who were in that class are now in the space. And like we still see each other, stay in touch. So that was kind of a good jump off point for me. But I mean, the bulk of my career was cold emails and just like getting referred to other places and just doing as many unpaid internships as I could, really, until I landed like real jobs, fake jobs, like whatever I can do to stay afloat,
Yeah, 100%. Likewise, because in the 90s, I was at Capitol Records, and internship was the key in entry for me into the music space. And, we're all within, being Asian American Pacific Islander. And every May, Blue Buddha, we host a virtual panel to shine a light on the amazing work of our colleagues. And just want to thread that needle because, it's one of those things where it's 1 month out of the year, but want to kind of thread this question to whoever wants to take it, and we can roundtable it. But as far as AAPI mentors, when you guys broke into the industry, was there, there's a handful of old AAPI veterans that are still around, Angela Leas, Rudy Chung, on the executive side. But I'm just curious, doors opening, what are you guys seeing out there as far as, opportunities and how do you navigate that, as an AAPI? Whoever wants to
Let's go
take
first.
that one.
I mean, you said, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Who's speaking? Go ahead. Go ahead, Lava.
Go for
No,
it, Derek.
Okay, I mean,
you got
just
the mic,
because you
Derek.
said,
You want to?
yeah, because you said Rudy's name. He was one of the guest speakers in my class, and then that's when
Oh, cool.
the spark kind of lit for me, and I was like, all right, there's an Asian here, and I was like, maybe this is actually something tangible for me, because at that point I was like,
Yeah.
getting a little like, oh, everybody knows somebody, like there's no way you can break into the industry without somebody, and like I spoke to him after. He was really kind to me, and that's kind of like my first experience of that. Just like anyone being kind, but it definitely helped that he was AAPI. And then I met colleagues of his, Marielle and Michelle, who have super like helped me throughout my career and guided me through, and like still talk to them quite often. But yeah, that was my introduction. Kind of gave me hope to like not give up, really. So I would say those three were the first that I've seen, and it's nice to see more AAPI sprout, because the community is small, and it's nice to run into colleagues and people starting different groups, and like Satya starting the PhilAm group at Netflix, and then Richie doing AAPI. Like I've met so many friends from that I wouldn't have known otherwise. So all of that has been quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well said. And yeah, shout out to everyone you just named. And I think because Blue Buddha this year we're a sponsor of the Guild of Music Supervisors. And I think one of the key things is, seeing Lava at the summer conference, just showing up and getting out there in numbers. Because I think work happens, life happens. And then when there's an event, it's sometimes, in LA, it's difficult to get out. But I think the more we're out there and being seen and just shaking hands and connecting the dots, and to ensure opportunities within the community. But yeah, Allyson, how about you as far as mentors for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, going off of that, you had mentioned Angela Elias. She was amazing. She was my last internship before I jumped into it. I was at Universal Pictures for about 3 months, and my supervisor at the time, I had kind of expressed her my interest in trailers, and I got to have like a sit down with Angela because, I was working within her department, and she had really helped me and guided me to get my job at Trailer Park, and I'm super thankful for that. She really taught me so much, and it's really helped my career from there, and I've gotten to meet so many amazing AAPI connections in the industry, and joining like the PhilAm community and the AAPI group, I've made so many friends and made so many relationships that we've all been able to connect within supervision. So that's been really, really great.
Yeah. Shout out to Angela. She's the best. And and Lava, is there any other, and this is actually, I'll thread it to one of our next questions we're going to have is, one piece of advice you would have for folks who are looking to be music supervisor, music coordinator, breaking into film and television. What's like one nugget you would say, Lava, from your perspective?
I guess just like you mentioned before, like putting yourself out there, like go talk to people and try to be involved in different things. Because I was in the same, like Marielle was my mentor at, GMS, and she was also the reason why, I got connected with Deric and got to Wildcard. And also like when I moved to Trailer Park, she put in good words for me too. So it's like that connection that we had, the mentorship that we had really helped me, develop my career and then grow as a supervisor. So I feel like that's like still for me the most important thing, also the luckiest thing for me to sort of be on this path.
Yeah, very nice. To thread it, and I've seen it where someone had brought it up is because our schedules get so crazy, is just telling someone, hey, can I buy coffee for you? I come by the office, quick hello, 15, 20 minutes. And I find that, that face-to-face interaction is invaluable. And then when you see that person again at an event, your name comes up possibly for an opportunity. But how about yourself, Deric, as far as one piece of advice for folks looking to, break into the industry?
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but it's not really just giving up. I think um, just being brave enough to go for something you want to, you're already kind of making it. So it's just going for it, staying patient, and things always will pan out as they're supposed to. I'm a firm believer of that. And I think the only time it doesn't is when there's a level of frustration of like, oh, it should be happening now, now, now. But that's just not how it works. And it's the journey, not the process. And everyone has a different path. So trust that you're on the correct one, which again is cliche, but I find it to be true,
Yeah, 100% more than ever. And our next question will kind of, there's existential forces that are always happening. And it's sort of, it's being able to pivot sometimes when things are slow, and then asking yourself, do I need more education? Do I need to take more internships or get out there more? But yeah, great insights, Deric. And Allyson, as far as, your insights on advice goes.
Oh boy. I feel like everyone took all the great stuff. But no, I mean, I think my biggest advice is, be open-minded and be patient. Going off of Deric, it's not going to come so easy sometimes. But definitely get out there and make connections. I feel like I've been able to really meet so many people, make really great relationships beyond just music supervision, and being an AAPI, we connect on, our culture. And I think just getting out there and really meeting people face to face, whether it's coffee or just a quick hello, just getting to know each other. I feel like that's going to be really important down the line.
Yeah, there's so much music out there, and to end it on a fun note, I'm pivoting, but what's on your repeat on your Spotify playlist? Or it could be Spotify or music that just came on your inbox, and we'll turn it to Lava. I'm just curious, is there any artist you're like, oh my God, you guys got to check this out? This band is amazing.
Sorry, I just cut out for a second. Could you repeat the last part?
Yeah, no problem. What's on repeat right now on your Spotify playlist? Is there a particular band that you've fallen in love with?
That's not necessarily a band, but I have been listening a lot to Ray, the British artist. She recently did a jazz festival thing, and then she had all her live recording and stuff. It's phenomenal. I've been listening to that nonstop.
Very cool. I'll have to check. We'll post the link. And how about you, Deric? Because the amount of music you guys get in any given day is insane. But for pleasure? What do you bumping in the car right now?
Oh, lately actually we've been driving in silence just because, like you said, we've been listening to so much music and it's been so busy. But my heavy rotation right now, it's McGee. I just saw that show and I've just been listening to him all year. Him and Dijon are kind of like my number ones right now, and I always find my way back to them, like even if I'm listening to other stuff. That's just my safe place right now. But yeah, silence and them too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because just to break it down, correct, Deric, from the major label side, the amount of music you get from the majors, and safe to say for everybody, for the most part, for your guys' campaigns, would you say when you have major brands or major trailers or major campaigns, most of the time the decision makers are going to want to gravitate towards a well-known frontline artist? Is that a fair assessment, or at the end of the day, it depends on the creative?
I think it depends on the creative. Yeah. You go ahead, Lava.
But as far as opportunities for indie artists go,
no, I think for me it's that we work a lot with indie artists, or artists that are more focused on sync. But we
Okay.
definitely also depend on the budgets. We also have like, big budgets for like big artists.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Thanks for Allison. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like for us being at Aspect, we tend to lean towards more of the recognizable or trending artists. I feel like that's just kind of what we've been getting lately.
hmm
There are, of course, a lot of opportunities for indie artists. We do work on a lot of streaming shows and home entertainment, and that's the chance that we're able to kind of reach out to those artists, as well as working with sync artists, as Lava was saying, and going to one-stop labels. So I think it's a good mix. It kind of goes back and forth. It's never really like we're only strictly looking for recognizable songs. I feel like we're always open, and it's always a variety.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and that's great. And thanks for shedding light on that. And we did a panel the other day, and some of the executives were weighing in, and we'll end with this question. As some studios and composers using artificial intelligence, AI, as a temp track, temp it out, and then flesh it out with an artist or live instrumentation. But what are you guys seeing? Are you guys any thoughts on AI and how that might impact the industry in the next, say, 2-3 years down the line?
I guess from my personal experience, we try to stay as much away from AI just to be safe, since we're not really sure of like how things are working with it. I mean, every time we go out, most of the time when we go out to labels, they'll use AI to extract stems or instrumentals, but we're not really using AI to create music. There's so many opportunities to go out to real artists and artists who have like such huge catalogs, and we would rather work with someone who is ready to revise stuff and not just working with AI. So I think it can get a little bit scary. I think we try to stay on the safer side, since we don't know what to expect. But I mean, there's so many ways that AI is used now with extracting stems and instrumentals, and that's been super helpful if it's approved by the label. But I know there are other places like extracting it for VO or dialogue, but yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my personal take on it.
Yeah, no, thanks. How about yourself, Deric? Any insights there?
Yeah, I mean, our company's actually partnered with an AI company. We don't really use it for ourselves musically. Like the furthest the music team will go is like Allison's saying, like the labels will extract. And yeah, I mean, you could use like ChatGPT or whatever to like give it a prompt and see what songs it spits out. But like I'm finding it's never, the right track or the right suggestion. So
Yeah,
I think right now for us, it's just a useful tool. Like at work, the AI that we have can like just create like a dialogue breakdown of the entire film, which is like, that's just an example, which someone would have to do that day and would like take up the entire day of, or a few days of that person. So it just frees us up to do more tasks and like more efficient, like whatever if we're finishing, like those like mundane tasks, they're able to do that. And then we could temp VO for the client, and once it's approved, we get the actual VO person to come in. So there's a lot of useful tools. I think for now, right now, it's everything is just how can we do our job more efficiently with it. I haven't seen, at least, any inclination that it's a threat. But I mean, maybe I just said too much and they're learning now. So I don't know, but it is useful.
Yeah, no, and then we'll turn it to you, Lava. I was talking with the producer the other day, and as from the production side, him working with artists, he'll use AI vocals as a scratch track, and then he'll have a vocalist flesh it out. But I was astounded because hearing AI vocals, I wouldn't have known if he didn't tell me it was AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, with you, Lava, as a singer yourself, as an artist, are you seeing any producers? What's the vibe out there you're seeing?
I've definitely heard about that. I have never, that's not true. I've like seen maybe a few incidences where people do that, but I will still say AI, at least for now, there's so many like nuance and like the expression and stuff in your vocals that is still kind of hard to mimic. Obviously, the heavy produced stuff could sound similar in a sense, but I still feel like there are so many like licensing like issues that are going to bother our specific industry. So as for now, I don't see it becoming like a major thing in the productions that we're working on.
Very nice, very nice. Now, thanks, guys, because it's always a question that comes up. But yeah, we covered a lot of ground, and I'm gonna make sure when we post this episode, we'll share, everybody's links, ways you guys, follow your work on IG, and I really appreciate you guys. We'll have to do this again in May, and then for AAPI month. But so happy to connect with you guys, and thanks for stopping by the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
thanks
having
so much
us.
for having us.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Great to see everybody.
All roads lead. Yeah, all roads lead back to Lava. So Lava, thank you so much for connecting the dots and linking us up with your
Yeah, all
colleagues.
my friends, just bring everybody.
The student becomes the master.
No, absolutely not.
Love that, Deric. Well said. Well, right on, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tune in next week. We got another special guest, a music supervisor who worked on 824's The Front Room. Catch you guys on the other side. Namaste.
Go.